All right, for those unfamiliar with teasers, it's when you get a certain allotment of points added to each bet when you make a parlay bet against the spread. Usually, it's the standard is 6 points, so a 7.5 point favorite becomes a 1.5 point favorite, and a 7.5 point underdog becomes a 13.5 point underdog. For example, Stuck has a lot of great content out there about teasers and how to approach them, what numbers you want to tease through. So Google Stucky teasers you can find all of that. But where are you going, Stuck, for week 17?
Yeah, let's go Browns against Wentz. We'll tease them up over a touchdown. Deshaun Watson hasn't been great, but you got to remember, like his preseason's basically over now, and he's played in like hurricanes. So the conditions obviously haven't helped. And you're asking this Washington team with Wentz at the helm, they should be able to run the ball a little bit, but to win by more than a touchdown in a very low scoring game. Classic teaser piece here with the Browns. And then I'm going to tease the Chargers down. Not going through the 7 here, but I make the line over 7, and they should get the win here. You mentioned it with their defense. That is what makes the Chargers a serious contender in the AFC and a team that no division winner, right? Like the winner of the AFC North, like the Bengals, how good they've been. If they have to play the Chargers in the first round, that's brutal reward for winning the division because the Chargers are now getting healthier receiver, and but the Rams don't get much pressure. But just the Chargers should win this game at home. They'll probably win it by like 3 though. Like they'll find a way to keep this close, which is why I like teasing the Chargers. But you have to keep in mind that the why the Chargers are a threat now is their defense. And we'll talk about it more when they play more meaningful games about the whys. But we'll just call it for now the Tillery effect. And since it's not all that, but since releasing, from weeks 1 to 7 with Jerry Tillery playing, they were 29th in EPA per play. Since they released him, they are 10th in EPA per play. They played some bad offenses and some really good offenses. So their defense is playing really well. Staley has them cooking. That's what makes the Chargers really dangerous here. But yeah, give me the Chargers to win the game and the Browns to keep a low, what should be a low scoring game within a touchdown. And by the way, the Browns Washington game also fits the theme and fits the mold of what we talked about earlier. In Washington needs to win. Browns playing for nothing. A lot of times you also could, like, Washington will play tighter. Browns could play loose here. So I think that there's some value in that line going up against Wentz. And yeah, let's go Browns, Chargers.
Yeah, I like the Browns as well. Washington has won only 2 games by more than 6 points out of their 7 wins. So that means out of 15 games they played, only twice have they won by more than 6 points. None of those games with Carson Wentz as the starter. So I do think Cleveland keeps it close. And I'll throw Pittsburgh in here plus 8.5 as well. Already talked about the dog in this matchup, 21-5. In the Tom Wynn Harbaugh era. So teasing it up. I mean, I don't have the exact numbers, but it probably makes it pretty much undefeated. So we'll go Browns and Steelers plus 7.5 and plus 8.5. And you got the Chargers minus 0.5 point and the Browns plus 7.5. That's going to wrap it for teasers.